Delicious. Hi gang, I hope that you guys are okay. I am releasing this episode on Bank Holiday Monday, so I hope that you've eaten, had a lie-in, enjoyed, and are making the most of this mini holiday. This week we're throwing it all the way back to 2001, which when you say that year doesn't sound like that long ago, but it was 20 years. Whee! 20 years ago. Today I'm talking you through a death that was headline news when it happened, and it burst back onto the social consciousness a few weeks ago with a new development in this case. An arrest made almost 20 years to the day of Stuart Lubbock's death. And it's reignited interest in a case, in a story that has left so many of us with so many questions that just haven't been answered yet. The fact that no one who was present when Stuart Lubbock died is willing to speak about this story, I think says volumes, but we're gonna get into it. 10 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna tell you as much as I can. Welcome to the anniversary with me, Yinka Bokinni. Shwa-na-na-na, 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 shwa-na-na-na. According to witnesses, the lifeless body of Stuart Lubbock, who was 31 when he died, was found at around 5:45 in the pool at the home of Michael Barrymore in Beaumont Park Drive in Roydon, Essex in the UK. Stuart had been at a party at the house with Michael Barrymore and other guests, and he was found naked apart from a pair of boxer shorts. He was a butcher, he had 2 kids, he was recently divorced, but he didn't actually know Michael Barrymore that well at all. He had gone back to his house as a part of a larger group after meeting him at the Millennium nightclub in Essex. It was one of those ones where you see like a celebrity at a club and like you want to get a little bit close and like peek at them or get to meet them or get a photo selfie opportunity. And in case you don't know, didn't know, weren't aware, Michael Barrymore is a legendary TV presenter here in the UK. When doing the research for this case, it's actually kind of hard to find information solely about Stuart Lubbock because the persona that is Michael Barrymore is massive. In the 90s, he dominated Saturday Night TV. He was/is still a very well-known guy, and he was in his late 40s at the time. On the night in question, the 30th of March, Stuart went out with his brother Kevin. He was invited to a party for afters, and he went along. There was a taxi driver that took them, Michael, Stuart and others, back to the house, and he actually said that he was a little bit concerned about Michael Barrymore on the night in question because it seemed that he had way too much to drink, and he was a little bit worried about the people in the car and whether or not they were going to take advantage of Michael Barrymore. Maybe rob his house or something. But the party began anyway at around 3 a.m, just before 3 a.m. What happens between then and 5:48 a.m. when the emergency services are called is a little hazy, to say the least. There were 9 people in the house at the time. They did try to resuscitate him. There was someone at the party who was first aid trained, but there wasn't anything they could do. And when paramedics arrived and the police arrived at the house, Stuart Lubbock was taken to hospital, but he was pronounced dead just after 8 a.m. that morning, the 31st of March, at the hospital. Like I said, it's super tough to know exactly what happened at Michael Barrymore's house. It's a bit like there's a code of secrecy with the people admitting and denying various things. And I should probably point out now that even though Michael Barrymore came out as gay in the late 90s and he had a partner called Jonathan Kenny and he was also there, and the taxi driver was talking about Michael saying lewd things in his ear in the car, Stuart wasn't gay. He identified as straight, which for me is not a headline in this story, but it's been a bit of a point of contention over the years with media outlets posing the question, why would a straight man go back to a gay Michael Barrymore's house if he was straight? But my thing is like, so what? So what? But just to say that Stuart Lubbock wasn't gay. Things got fishy pretty quickly. Michael Barrymore actually left the house and essentially left the crime scene when the ambulance was called. He said he panicked. He said he consumed a lot of alcohol when he wasn't able to reason. He said that he was terrified at what the reaction to the media would be because of course he came out a few years earlier and everyone's looking for a crumb. A young man found dead in his pool and he panicked and he just left. But like, Michael, bruv, you're not 12 and you're not 21. You're 48 when this happens. 48. You can't just leave. But he did just leave. He just left. And there was a girl there who was called Kylie, and she told the police that Michael Barrymore tried to rub cocaine into Stuart's gums at some point during the evening, and Stuart tried to move away and Michael was like, give it to him anyway. Michael Barrymore absolutely denies this. There were many autopsies carried out on the body of Stuart Lubbock. I'm not entirely sure why, but there were several by different coroners as well. The second one was carried out by a doctor called Dr. Colden. He's an expert on drowning, and he said that there were heavy lungs present, but they didn't show the classic signs of drowning that you would expect. He did find petechiae, I think that's how you say it though, which are burst blood vessels in Stuart's eyes, which are consistent with strangulation or compression of the neck. There was a lot of blood on a cloth wrapped around his groin area, and there was bleeding and dilation in Stuart's anus. All of the experts agreed that Stuart had high levels of cocaine and MDMA in his system. He had anal tears that were not consistent with consensual activity. Actually, the wounds were said to be catastrophic and he had to have been assaulted. The official verdict read that none of the guests gave satisfactory explanations as to why Stuart was found in the pool with these levels of drugs in his system, but the verdict was recorded as open. The police assumed when they got there that Stuart had just drowned, but from the autopsies, the story was a lot deeper than that. Some of the potential explanations of what happened to Stuart are just stupid though. Someone thought that he might have dive bombed and landed in the pool and hurt himself on something. Nothing was found in the pool that would hurt him. They also thought that the rectal thermometer caused injuries. They used that at the hospital, but why would Stuart be the only person in the history of the world to have got those types of injuries from that type of equipment that was designed for that very purpose? No, of course not. It's absolutely stupid. But this case is such a roller coaster, and the victims here, Stuart, his family, went through hell. Terry, his dad, has been a campaigner for this throughout ill health for the last 20 years, and because of the high profile nature of the case, it was just magnified. That the grief must have been unbearable. The press camped outside the Lubbock family home, and one dickhead reporter from the News of the World, we thank baby Jesus that newspaper is no longer. He dressed up and pretended to be a detective, asked the family loads of questions, and then when they were like, oh, what part of the force are you from? He was like, nah, I'm a journalist, you just answer all the questions. What a dickhead. Michael Barrymore, at the time when he was questioned, he said that 2 guests jumped into the pool to try and help Stuart when they found his body. He said that he didn't jump in because he can't swim, but he can. Like, he really, really can swim. And it's a weird lie to tell. He was suspended from ITV when all of this blew up. And he kept quiet for quite a long time until he appeared on a couple of shows. He went on The Tonight Show with Martin Bashir. He's the one that interviewed Princess Diana. But all he said in that was that there were no orgies at his house that he knew of. And in 2002, the inquest took place, and it found that the police didn't even properly secure the scene when Stuart Lubbock died. Michael Barrymore's publicist was allowed in, he was roaming around without an escort. Stuart's underwear went missing. There was a catalogue of errors. Even though there was blood present at the scene, it was just prematurely ruled as a drowning. In 2002, Michael Barrymore goes on GMTV, which is Good Morning Britain. Now, they changed it. And he claimed that a nurse told him that Stuart had no anal injuries when he arrived at the hospital, but he did have anal injuries during the post-mortem. Who told him that? What nurse? What nurse told him that? Fast forward to 2006, and Celebrity Big Brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Michael Barrymore.
It's the return of Michael Barrymore. He actually came second, and when he arrived, it was rapturous applause. He started crying. It took ages to get him in there because the public was so happy to see him again. Stuart's dad actually rocked up to the launch of Celebrity Big Brother in 2006 with a t-shirt that said "Who Killed Stuart Lubbock" on it, but they didn't let him in. I think that guy's a G, because that's something that I would do. The public perception of Michael Barrymore seemed to change with his stint in Celebrity Big Brother. The crowd began to love him over the few weeks that he spent there, and there was even an interview with someone who was like, oh, I like Michael Barrymore, we all make mistakes. And I thought, yeah, I've made mistakes. Like, sometimes I've lost my words and I've got to re-record for my YouTube, but I don't leave my house if somebody's died there and refuse to speak to the police. But hey, there we go. 3 people were arrested in this case in 2007. Michael Barrymore, his partner Jonathan Kenny, who actually was the person who made the 999 call, and Justin Merritt, the party goer. The police said they had 18 new leads, and it seemed that Stuart's family were finally going to get the answers that they were craving, but no. The Crown prosecution decided that there wasn't enough evidence to go to trial, and the public, us guys, would never actually find out what those leads were. All we do know is that given the times that everyone was there, and all of the timelines that everyone told, like, you know, we were in the hot tub at this time and Stuart was over here at this time and I was in the bedroom having a chat and I was in the pantry doing whatever. There were 3 people who had the time and opportunity to murder Stuart Lubbock, and I can only assume it's the 3 people who were arrested. Michael Barrymore took the police to court for loss of earnings. He didn't win the 2 million something that he wanted, but he just got nominal damages. Then Michael Barrymore, after the arrest and the court case, went on Piers Morgan's Life Stories, which is a show where Piers Morgan gets to the nitty gritty and people cry on it. And yet again, people just really liked Michael Barrymore for a second time. In December of 2019, he went on Dancing on Ice. He seems to be back into family entertainment. Woo, welcome. Cue February 2020 and The Body in the Pool, which was a one-off documentary special that was produced and aired by Channel 4. I would link it below. I would tell you to go and watch it, but it's actually not available to stream on Channel 4 or All 4 or anything, because at the end of the programme they asked for any information in the death of Stuart Lubbock, and the police also did a renewed campaign around it and they upped their reward as well, and it worked. On March 17th 2021, a man was arrested in the connection with the death of Stuart Lubbock.
Today, Wednesday the 17th of March, detectives from Essex Police's major crime team have arrested a 50-year-old man on suspicion of the indecent assault and murder of Stuart Lubbock.
And on that note, my time is up. We don't have any more information. Of course, when this case unfolds, and I feel like it will do in the next few months and years and stuff, I will be doing an update video on this, because my eyes have been glued to Stuart Lubbock and Michael Barrymore and the pool and the what in the world happened. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I actually didn't think that I was going to get through that one, but I did. Please use all of the research below for the full story. I also linked a couple of podcasts that I quite liked on the case as well, for you to really get your teeth stuck into. Make sure you are subscribed, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're commenting if you enjoy these 10-minute true crime roundups, and be sure to follow my true crime Instagram if you would like some daily true crime updates. Until next week, I hope that you keep safe, I hope that you have a brilliant week, and I will see you on Sunday for some more 10-minute true crime. Thank you for watching, gang.